try and keep it the same, whether you win, lose or draw. You try and keep it the same. You try and not go too high when you're winning, not too low when you lose. So, but it's a strange situation with the way the pandemic is and everything. So we just try and keep it the same, and we've made a good start. Winning is the greatest thing, and if you play well and you do win, great. If you win and you don't play well, okay. But winning is the main thing in football, and we've started the season really well. Lads are playing with a lot of confidence, and we're going to try and win again.
Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome back to your Matchday Ticket pre-game show with myself, Martin. That was, of course, our manager Paul Lambert on the camp's mood after a really successful start to the season. Sadly, Hospital FC has struck again. Casualty has come and gone, because we've got two strikers less than we had yesterday. In the pre-match press conference, Paul Lambert was asked about injuries and wasn't forthcoming with the Hawkins and Jackson news that has been met us today. I can see you all piling into the chat. Thank you ever so much. As always, get your comments into the chat and I'll make sure they're on the show. And the same for Facebook, although your comments won't be seen on the show if you are on Facebook, because the function isn't there. We are sponsored today by I Want to Network. Brunel launches 20th of October. Head to iwanttonetwork.com or networking90.co.uk for more information. I am joined by two special people today. First and foremost, the resident hard man, Cruncher. Welcome in, my man. How you doing?
Well, when I clicked on my phone, at 2 o'clock to check the teams, I'm every Saturday now, Martin. I'm thinking, who we missing from the lineup today? And then you're going down it, aren't you? And there it is, another two. Unbelievable. Not just any two, really, though, is it? It's Ollie Hawkins, who you've brought in the summer, and it's Caden Jackson, who, even if he wasn't injured, isn't going to be match fit. So, you were never going to perhaps rely on him for 90, but to maybe think he's got another knock is disappointing. Before we get into the team news, we are, of course, joined by a third member this afternoon, and it is Mr. Robbie D. There he is. Welcome in, Rob. How you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Yourselves? All good, lads?
We're all good.
Not too bad. Rumour on the street is it's your round, so get the beers in while we check out the team news.
The beers in. The Pilsner Urquell's in, if you're a fan of
Good
beers of Europe.
Beers all round. Today's team news is brought to you in association with Networking 90. Brunel, the nationwide networking business group, launches October 20th. Don't miss out, sign up and get your business moving. Head to iwanttonetwork.com for more information. And there is the team today. I believe we're having a 4-3-3, but it could be any number of things really. Sears is up the front. Because we've got no strikers fit. So Freddie Sears resumes his lone striker duties. Who wants to kick us off? Because I'm spitting feathers in. I'm not sure if you picked it up in that intro. I'm a bit flustered because we've had all window to address the fact we haven't really got any strikers fit. Jackson's been in and out of fitness all summer, or in and out of possibly moving or not. We didn't do anything. We didn't bring anybody in. We've now got Tyree Simpson on the bench, who is an absolute raw player. What's going on? Talk to me. Someone talk to me.
I'll go first. Well, you've already summed it up in a lot of ways. I mean, as usual, we didn't invest. We all thought when Hawkins came in that he was probably going to be third, fourth choice. I think Sears probably is also down the middle, is even fourth or fifth choice. And okay, Drinan obviously had a great start. Now he's injured, but came from nowhere. He probably wouldn't have even been considered as a choice 6 months ago.
No.
So Norwood's obviously got his on and off field problems now. Jackson, if you remember, was obviously suspended from the last game in March. We were always going to start this season short up front. I don't know how we can't get players fit in that long 6 months of lockdown, to be honest. But anyway, we didn't, and we haven't addressed it. And now if Sears gets injured today, Martin, you're getting the call, mate. You're up there.
Well, exactly.
I really don't know where we go. I mean, it's obviously Simpson. I do know where we go, but. Do you know what I mean? I mean, we're so weak up there. The fact that we're top of the league shows just how much we've relied on goals from midfield and the players from midfield stepping up. But, we've not scored any goals down the middle, which not much has been made of because, we are top of the league. We're scoring goals, we're creating chances. And probably a lot of that is because Hawkins has been involved in linking up the play. But to be honest, we really are scraping the barrel, and it shows how much we haven't invested and how many times have we said it, time after time. There was players available. I mean, we we didn't go for the guy from Bristol Rovers that went to Peterborough. I mean, that would have solved this problem in one move.
Well, yes. And Rich, are we AFC Wimbledon? Are we the minnows of the division, or are we the supposed giants? Because
we're like the dog and duck, Martin.
Even worse. Absolutely. I completely agree. I mean, Tyrese Simpson has made 3 career appearances so far. 3. This is the so-called promotion year. This is the boom or bust year. This is we fucked up the first year. Right? Well, we fucked up the first year, but here we go for the second year, and we're lining up with.
He was a rugby player a year ago, so
this is it.
Wouldn't you have thought? Did he go on loan, Ben Falami, yesterday? I'd have thought he'd be ahead of Simpson. It shows he's got no chance of playing. No, if he can't even make the bench.
Exactly.
You have to look at what's going on as well as that. And we haven't strengthened. We haven't. I mean, Bennett's is there. I mean, but he's also more of a wide player. I don't know, but you have to say. I mean, our injury record is getting to be a bit of a joke. It's been a joke for a long time, really. But I mean, how many players they don't get an injury for a week? They're out and they're out and they're out, and you forget you've got them. They're all Chiavelli injuries these days, aren't they? Do you remember that one where he just disappeared for a season?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't seem to have an injury. We don't seem to have someone that's, got a knock for a week. But before lockdown, I think Judge was out for 3 or 4 months, wasn't he?
With a broken foot, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Got away with that one, actually, because of the lockdown. But we've just got raging injury problems. I don't know how we couldn't get... We should have gone into the start of the season with everyone fit. Kane, Vincent, Young, Norwood, Jackson, all of them. Instead, we've lost... We already had a few of them weren't fit. Then we've lost Drinan. I think somewhere in there, Morris got his injury.
Yeah, Ben Morris he's another one. He's another one, isn't he? Ben Morris, forgot about him. He's out for the season.
It's easily done because they're never fit.
Yeah. Oh, this is it. Ben Falami was on the radar of Melbourne victory. He hasn't gone to Melbourne yet, but he is available for loan. So you're almost thinking, are they not playing him or on the bench with an eye to that loan move? I'm not overly sure how Dobra doesn't make the bench.
I'm staying. He played yesterday, didn't he, for the 23s? But you would have thought they would have known yesterday, they woken up. Maybe they woken up, they got the flu, or something like that. But who knows? It might even be COVID, Martin. You don't know nowadays.
You'd have thought if it was COVID, though, the whole squad would have to be.
Well, the game. I shake my head, and it's sooner or later someone in the local media has to question Paul Lambert, the training methods.
Yeah. Well, this is it, and apparently Andy Warren just tweeted out that Alan Judge is starting up front, and I'm sorry if that's true. We're even more of a comedic joke than I thought we were.
Do you know what? Honestly, at the moment, I would play Grillon Edwards down there ahead of Judge. If Grillon Edwards looks like a player is on top of his game at the moment, just at the moment, not generally, might even play him there ahead of Sears. I'm going to say it. Might even play him there ahead of Sears.
He said, Robbie, the other week when they questioned him about Sears playing down the middle, he said he doesn't play down the middle now. He's a wide player.
Oh no,
it's just.
I know.
Look,
that shows where we're at. I'm not sure how much you can blame Lambert for this one because, I mean, he's not getting the players injured. I mean,
I'm not blaming Lambert.
I just don't know how we can't get players fit after this much time off.
Well, this is it, isn't it? And this is as Rich was alluding to there. These are the questions that have really got to be asked of the club, and not enough people want to be asking the tough questions because there needs to be a route through, a route analysis because there's too many players.
They're more worried about making sticker books, Martin, and they can't even get that right.
At £1.50 a packet, might I quickly add? That is that. I'm sorry, no way.
My kids someone to put some kind of thing saying you can get X amount of Freddos for that. Do you remember there's always those things you get X amount of Freddos for one Fernando Torres and all those things back in the day. It was always Freddo, the price comparison, wasn't it?
The sticker book is irrelevant, really, but they just, there comes a point where you've got to say, actually, there's more to the situation than what is meeting the eye. And you run through a list, and it's like one of those, Shrek when he unveils the wedding list and it just rolls itself down.
You know what you should do, Martin? Get yourself, during the first half, make yourself a graphic of who's injured, what their injury is, and how long they're supposed to be out for.
I've only got
the whole first half to do it.
I've only got one screen size to do it, There's no space. There's no space.
Matt did say, didn't he? I think was it last Sunday or the Sunday before? It was 11. He counted 11. So now we can add another 2 to that.
So yep. They're 13.
We played 5 games. We have played 5 games.
What's more disturbing is it's not necessarily the players that get injured, because injuries happen at every football club. It's the rehabilitation and the time it takes to come back.
They disappear. There's been players that have got injured, never played for the club again, and they've still had half a season or more left on their deals. I mean, we are down to the Bears, I think. The bare bones, sorry. I mean, look at midfield, right? You've got 4 options. 3 are playing, Nolan's on the bench. Behind that, who's next?
McGavin, probably.
Yeah.
Because Scouse is injured. I'm not really a fan of Scouse, but normally Scouse would be next. Let's not kid ourselves.
It's like Vincent Young, Martin. It's like Vincent Young. Where has he gone?
Yeah, exactly. He was playing at Colchester pre-season, wasn't he?
He's not played football. He's not played football for nearly a year.
Yeah.
A year. What is going on?
This is it. Why do things take? It's almost like playing LMA manager without the injury treat added in. So
without a physio.
Yeah,
you just fired him. You haven't got anyone else in.
Yeah, I mean, obviously on Football Manager, your players take longer to recover based on your physio. I'm not discrediting our physios or anything. I'm not saying anybody is at fault, but there needs to be more of a question, more of a what's going on. You get palmed off in football too easily. Like in American football, they have to give an injury report every day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every day. So every day a reporter can ask the question. In football, it's just any news on Vincent Young. He's still some time away. That's not good enough. That's not a sentence.
Matt's just messaged. So, tweet from Stuart Watson. Ross Sykes. These are 3 centre backs for Accrington. Ross Sykes for 6'5", Cameron Burgess 6'4", Mark Hughes 6'2", ITFC front 3, Freddie Sears 5'7", Alan Judge 5'7", Quinn Edwards 5'9".
It's the borrowers. Compared to those 3 giants.
Just thought of another guy who's injured. Who I think the last time I saw him play was in Germany pre-season before last season. Is Tristan Nida.
Yeah, well, this is. I mean, he's.
That was a bad injury. He did have a bad injury.
Yeah, I remember being there for it, but I mean that's like 16 months or something ago now. I would guess. I've got no idea where he's at.
No, and this is something we're gonna have to really sort of wait for the news after the game and tomorrow, and we'll address it a lot more in our podcast tomorrow live at 1:30 in terms of how long Hawkins and Jackson is. But as I tweeted out about 40 minutes ago, if it's longer than 2 days, with the run of games coming up Tuesday, Saturday for the next 4 weeks, if it's longer than 2 days and the window is shut and we haven't brought any reinforcements in. Yesterday, Ben Woodburn, Liverpool striker, went to Blackpool on loan, 21 years of age. Players were available to come off the bench who perhaps had a little bit more pedigree than a guy that's playing rugby 18 months ago and has made 3 career appearances.
But they'll use the salary cap, won't they? That's what they'll use now.
Barry Cotter went out. No, Barry Cotter went out. Barry Cotter left. The salary cap is a very interesting thing because not every player over a certain age, I believe, counts. It's only if you include them in your matchday squad. As in, like, in your overall, these are the players we're taking forward into the championship. So if Barry Cotter hadn't gone out on loan, you could have not opted to include him, and then he couldn't play any league games. I think, if I'm reading the rules correctly, that's perhaps the situation. But he's obviously going out on loan now to Chelmsford instead. So they'll say salary cap, but I would argue again.
But it would have been rubbish anyway. If they sold Jackson, they would have used that salary cap as the reason not to invest in. I mean, they would have used that anyway. Whether you agree with it or not, they're still going to use it.
Oh, every day of the week.
It's only a matter of time before it catches up with us, though. Let's not kid ourselves here. I mean, we got rolled over at Accrington last year. I think it was the first defeat because they were bigger and stronger.
Same time last year. Nearly.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah, exactly a year.
And as Luke suggested,
it's Lincoln that worries me because they look strong up there. Obviously, last year we got absolutely done last year up there, didn't we? But they look even stronger.
Spot on there. We've chatted about this before, Martin. Scouse, the new deal. That's just what you're just throwing money down the road there. Like I said before, open my wallet, throw me cards down the road. It's a waste of time.
Not even fit.
Don't keep me going on this rampage because Cole Skews, as Rob will tell you, we and Cole Skews.
You've been on that bus for about 8 or 9 years. I don't know how long he's been here, but you've been on it for.
I've been driving it. I built the bus and I'm driving the bus because back at the Fulham boat days, I was telling you. Excuse is not the future, and we're not going to go anywhere with him in midfield. And it did, didn't it? So look on to today's team because today's team should still be strong enough to get 3 points. You've got Holy, Chambers, Enciala, Wilson, and Kenlock. Dozell, Hughes, Bishop. How has Hughes kept his place?
I was very surprised. You're lacking goals. Is he going to get you a goal, Emmy Hughes? John Nolan, what's he got? 3 goals so far? I would have thought he'd come straight back in.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a surprise one.
I know.
Perhaps Nolan still isn't fully fit either.
But this is then we get into another bugbear of mine, because if you're fit enough for the bench, let's say Emmy Hughes runs out there and does a Rob Klimpson right? As Rob Klimpson once did for the Lions, runs on as a sub, pulls an hamstring in the first 30 seconds, right? So let's say Emmy Hughes jogs out there and pulls something. Is John Nolan not fit enough for the 89 minutes?
He'd come on straight away. So, yeah, I know what you mean. And I get it's that thing about he doesn't want to change a winning team unless he has to. Obviously, Hughes is fit, but everyone knows that Hughes was very rusty last weekend. So I can see why he's kept him in, but I would have personally put Nolan back in because, honestly, Bishop has scored I know he scored 3 goals a season, but remember that he scored 1 goal in 5 years before that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he's at that level where you can't say he's going to score goals from midfield every week. It might just be a flash in the pan. We don't know yet.
Did you nearly admit there, Martin, that John Nolan should be in the team?
Nearly. I didn't say names.
Maybe with Tuesday night in mind, he'll keep Hughes in today, and then Nolan probably come back in. I'd expect him to come on at some stage, probably second half. When someone's got injured, probably because that will happen today. You'll pick up another couple of injuries today. If you pick up another couple today, we've got to go in and get a couple of players if we pick up another guy. Heaven forbid if Kenlock gets injured.
Well, Colin Quaynar's still available.
Colin Quaynor would probably might even be first choice out of everyone we have. He's a decent player, and let's be honest, all of the other options, Jackson and Norwood, probably the best 2 options. They're not even nearly fit. It's going to be months before them 2 are fit to play at all, let alone together.
Yeah. I think
when's Drennan back? November.
Well, this is it. We don't fully know timetables.
November always becomes January with Ipswich anyway.
Yeah, we never have any time scale, do we?
No,
not an accurate one.
No, it's always 2 to 8 years. Eric is, I think the front 3 will swap out, and I agree with that. I think Edwards, Sears and Judge will rotate. I'd have liked to have seen Bennett's come in for either Judge or Sears, just because I feel a tricky, pacey player like that can maybe, if the Stanley team are big players,
get around them.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think if it's not working, 45 minutes, perhaps 60, and it's not working, I think you might see him for Judge so that we've got pace on all foot counts up front, and then you can interchange all 3 as he accurately put. At the moment, I'm not sure you played Judge down the middle, or you would expect Judge to go down the middle. Whereas Edwards, Sears or Bennett's, probably all 3 of them could interchange down the middle temporarily.
I'll be very surprised if you see Simpson on the pitch today.
Yeah,
he's on the bench there, but I don't think he's going to get anywhere near the pitch. He's just filling a seat, isn't he, really?
Yeah.
He came on towards the back of the whole lockdown thing, just before lockdown, didn't he? He played a couple of games in there.
Yeah, and he looked I'm not being...
Way off.
He looked way off.
But we were way off. He was probably still ahead of Will Keane.
Well, yeah, but...
He's not that far off.
No, very true. I'm just surprised someone didn't come in. I'm not going to say his name. Come in for Hughes. Bishop played well last week, so he'll be key again this week, particularly if we're going to play on the floor. With smaller type players, the intricacy, the ability to run at people will come in handy today. You would have to think, right, Crunch?
Well, we're going to have to, aren't we? It's no good banging it forward today when you got giants at the back who are just going to eat the ball up, aren't they? It's going to be a tough game today. Let's not underestimate Accrington. They're punching massively above their weight, aren't they? In this division, they got 3 on. I think they've got 3 players on loan from Chelsea. Got 1 on from Newcastle. But John Coleman, he's a really good manager, and you think
he is.
Yeah, he's. I like how he speaks. I'd still expect us to. It should be a win today. It has to be a win, doesn't it? Really, they're going to be rubbing their hands together. They're going to think, look, they've got no strikers. These guys, come on, boys, let's get out there. If you're in the Accrington camp, but we just got to keep the ball on the floor, pass it round, get an early goal, and then the pressure lifts a little bit, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And on Facebook, are all our strikers just wanting another holiday, or are they all in prezos? I thought that was rather humorous. I did, because the Norwood Prezzo connection. We've got Emerson Fairweather, Colin Quaynar's a good shout. David Pascoe, Hughes for physicality, given there's no strikers.
We should have signed John Akindi, shouldn't we?
Oh, behave. Behave. So, We've got 8 minutes left till we have to depart for the first half. Obviously, I asked for predictions yesterday on Twitter. A lot of Ollie Hawkins goals to be scored. Sadly, won't be happening today. So, what do we feel score-wise today? I'll come to you first, Crunch.
I did say Hawkins to score, didn't I? And you laughed at me.
Still laughing.
I'll still go 2-0.
Okay.
I think Edwards and let's throw one in there. Kenlock.
Wow. Miles Kenlock. Robbie D, what are you saying, brother?
I think we're going to find it hard to score goals. I remember watching the game at Accrington last year, as you said, about this time last year, was obviously up there, which does change it a bit. I think we struggled to really open them up and score goals, and they were hard to break down, I thought. So I still fancy us to win, but I think I'm going to go for a 1-0.
1-0. Eric Clapton's gone 1-1. Nick Miller's gone 5-0 Ipswich. Callie's gone 4-0, give or take 2 goals. Give or take 4 goals.
What is Nick Miller on? Because his predictions are, wow, look at that.
I know.
5.
His championship predictions, you had Watford to beat Derby 4-0. You had Bournemouth to beat QPR 4-0. I mean, Nick Miller loves the goal
Preston
rush.
3. That was the one. Cardiff,
Yes.
Preston 3-3.
Nick Miller loves the goal rush. He really does. Luke's gone 2-1. JT, welcome in, brother. It's gone 1-1. Kempy's gone 2-1. I tell you what, I want to see a big game out of Edwards today because in the past, for me, he's been bullied too easily by stronger players. And Stanley last year were very physical with us. So we're going to need, for me, Edwards to have a big game and prove he can play against any type of fullback, any type of player. Because against another fullback like last week against Blackpool, who doesn't really get tight or get physical, he murders them. Absolutely murders them. But against a stronger sort of a Luke Chambers type fullback, where it's no nonsense, he's struggled in the past, hasn't he?
Yeah, but his confidence should be flying, shouldn't he?
He should be.
He's got 4 goals. Hopefully he's going to keep him on the left, where he's. I said last week, I still can't believe that we signed someone who played on the left for Peterborough, and we've hardly played him there. And then all of a sudden he's playing there, and then the goals are flowing.
Wing back for a season. I mean, seen the best out of him now, haven't we? But I think, to be honest, at Bristol Rovers he could have had a couple of goals as well, so he could actually be even on more. I don't know. I fancy him to score again today. To be honest, he looks like he can't do anything wrong.
So you're going 1-1 with Edwards to score your goal,
I'm going 1-0. 1-0.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. 1-0 with Edwards to score.
To be honest, with the way we are with injuries now, especially up front, I'm at that point where just get it done today. Almost not interested about how we get it done. They're all toughish games, but when we're starting to miss so many players, I just want to get as many points on the board before it really starts to hit us.
Yeah,
we're missing so many players. Yet we got how many centre halves we got? We've got 2 on the bench. We've got 3 playing on the pitch.
Don't start me, because again, if you've got more centre halves than anything else, you change up the formation. Surely, could you look to use players that could be used elsewhere? But either by Facebook, we've got Andrew 2-1 Town. We've got Benjamin Michael. We lose so many players per match as score goals. So I'll stay safe and say 2-0. That's 2 players gone today. Then, 3 points, no injuries. I think that's really where we are as a football club.
Yeah.
Isn't we? 3 points and no injuries, literally.
We have to. We can't afford any more going into. Hopefully, they won't train Monday, will they? Maybe a little. But then you did say, Martin, the video the club put out. I think it was last Friday. There was a little snippet about a minute, and they were flying into each other, weren't you? And I said, look, they're competitive, but someone has to rein them in. They really do. No shin pads as well at training. Did you see that as well?
Well,
to be fair to them, they haven't made a tackle for the last 2 seasons, so I'd rather see them going a little bit from time to time.
The no shin pad situation's a bugbear of mine because players up and down from amateur to pro seem to think shin pads don't, it doesn't matter when it's in training. But you get a kick on the shin, you know about it. Believe me. But when I was a manager of a men's team, I was always saying, "Where's your shin pads? Where's your shin? Oh, I thought we were just training." Doesn't matter. You still need to wear your shin pads, and it goes up and down the pyramid. What I would say about that video is people will say, but they're footballers, that's what they do. Not every player is the same. So I wouldn't expect Emir Hughes to be training the same way Flynn Downs trains. I wouldn't expect, give me another injury-prone player, Kane Vincent-Young to be training the same way Miles Kenlock, who's never really had an injury, to train. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't have a one-size-fits-all.
Great player fits all.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it. I knew it was going to come. But you can't have a one-size-fits-all template. Maybe we do, and that's maybe our issue. I just don't know. I'm going to say 3-0 Town. Edwards and Lancaster to come off the bench and score. We've not yet seen Lancaster off the bench. Disappointing. Apart from one game, obviously, at Rovers away.
He's another one who's
isn't he?
He's had injury problems, and they're obviously holding him back on it. And another one, getting back to like we said about Bennett, there's another one not fully fit. It's an issue across the board, isn't it?
Yeah. You literally could have a template for every player arriving, couldn't you? So-and-so arrives from so-and-so. Having battled injuries, he now hopes to make a success.
Now we've got to get him fit to see if he's any good. Do we know how long Downs will be out for? I haven't seen anything.
They
about
said
him.
3 months. They said 2 to 3 months, didn't they?
2 to 3 years.
You're not going to see him before Christmas, are we? Getting back to, I know you had a bit of a bugbear, Martin, about Dobra not going out on loan, but I still
I'll cover that tomorrow.
Yeah, I know you're going to cover it, but I still find it a bit bizarre that doesn't he think to himself, we've got a catalogue of injuries, and I still cannot get a place on the bench.
And they don't want to send me out on loan.
Well, we know they did.
They did.
Oh, they did, yeah?
He rejected it. So
okay, I missed that.
But you would have thought he's probably further ahead than Simpson.
But he played yesterday for the 23s at Birmingham.
Well, then don't play him yesterday. I mean, there you go. But then, again, so something tells me maybe it's a recent thing. Maybe it's a sick bug coming into the camp.
Yeah, it could be.
Because, yesterday in the press conference, no injury update. Then obviously on 23s, you've not pulled out Dobra, or you've not pulled out Brown. You've not made the moves you would expect to make. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So maybe it's a 24-hour thing. Anyway, scores elsewhere. We've got Milton Keynes Dons winning 2-0 at home to Gillingham. So
that's an upset. Gillingham had a great start, haven't they?
I followed a few Gillingham accounts over the summer, and yesterday they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll smash Milton Keynes. Oh yeah, brilliant." Never mind, boys. Celtic lost 2-0 to Rangers, so Rangers fans are kicking COVID because they've missed.
I watched some of that, and I watched some of Liverpool, and before we go, it's so apparent, isn't it? When you get these big derby games, there's no one there, and it's soulless. It really is.
Well, yeah,
it is what it is.
I'm not going to disagree with that, but it is what it is. We'll be back at half-time with our half-time thoughts, and then again at full-time where you guys get involved and we hand it over to yourselves. But we'll be back at half-time, we'll see you all then. Take care of yourselves.
Come on, you Blues.